My name is Mari De Leon, and I am from Edinburgh, Texas. I was raised in San Carlos alongside my grandparents, with my parents. I have 13 years of legislative experience of working in the Texas House of Representatives. I also, 2 of those years were in the private sector as a legislative consultant. And I will say that through my experience, I feel as though I have the ability to represent and have a clear understanding of what is expected of our state representative. Aside from that, I do have a bachelor's degree in finance and a master's degree in public administration from the University of Texas Pan American. I do value academics very much, and with my institutional knowledge and my education background, I think that that is very fitting for our new state representative come November.
Now, locally, coming out of the primary, you've seen a lot of things in your travels on the campaign trail. What are some of the big issues locally that you want to tackle as the representative in District 40?
What I plan on tackling and what I have been addressing with the residents of the district are that of voter awareness, ensuring that people understand the process as to who can vote, when they can vote, what do they need to do to vote, because there is a lack of awareness and education on that matter. Secondly, there is a hospital district that is being proposed on the November ballot. And like those who are unaware of their civic duties as far as being responsible in registering to vote and who can they vote for and when, it is, what is this hospital district and why should I support it? And many of them don't agree with the language of that legislation. They don't agree with what is going to be expected of them as far as increase in fees in their property taxes. And that is something that I know that I can be a strong advocate against. And in speaking to them and educating on them, there are better ways to help individuals who need health care. There are other ways, and I'm very confident that I'd be able to address those. Third is there is a proposition to have a toll road. Initially, they were calling it a toll road. The language has changed. It is an expansion of a highway called State Highway 68 that is going to hurt a lot of families in North Donna up to North Edinburgh. And coming from San Carlos, I know the impact that it's going to have on property owners, and I definitely will be an advocate for them and ensure that through the abuse of eminent domain, that it does not happen.
Let me touch on something that you mentioned earlier. You're talking about voter registration, all that stuff. Could I assume that you're for a voter ID, maybe?
You know, the conversation is going to happen all the time. Do I agree with voter ID? I don't see why not. Whenever you go to a cinema and you're taking a younger relative with you or whatnot that's not over 18, you have to provide your ID. I think for something that we all value very much, and if we want to ensure that you will be voting and that you have that ability, you need an ID to drive your vehicle. And if you drove yourself to the polls and or not, and if you're an elderly and you have your ID, you have it readily available to show. So I don't think that that's really going to cause an issue for people. And if so, they know that they can call me directly and I can assist them as to where they can go if they need that assistance.
Okay. Let's touch on the healthcare district for a little bit more. Now, you're against it, as you had mentioned earlier. Do you have a plan for working with the current system to address the problems that have been stated by the pro camp, or do you have a completely different plan altogether?
I think the current system as it is, the county already has an indigent healthcare program in place. And if the issue is about funding, if the issue is about how do we allocate the resources to the clinics that currently service the indigent population, then we need to work for a method of increasing those fundings, or better yet, evaluate how has the county been allocating or dispersing those funds. Has there been proper administration? And if until we evaluate how that program has been evaluated, then we will not know what needs to be done. So that would be my beginning and starting point. And that we can go back to the legislature if we find that, you know what, we need a little bit of more resources I wouldn't mind sitting down with my colleagues up in Austin and saying, Hidalgo County needs this help. I really need your assistance at this moment, and this is what I need. What can we do? So that's what I would do.
Before you had mentioned a toll road. Now, can you give us a quick summary of what that toll road was intended for and why you're against it?
The toll road, to my understanding, and how TxDOT has been recently publishing its information, is that in 2014, they informed the residents that they wanted to do an expansion of a State Highway 68. This is a brand new state highway. It is not expanding current highway, and really it was a proposed project. So it could evolve and develop in any way that our TxDOT representatives feel would be best for the residents of that area. What has happened is that residents who were on a ideal or proposed route that is a preferred route for TxDOT, they've just been telling residents that this is what's going to happen, and there's nothing that you can say or do. It's going to happen. And I believe in fair representation. I believe in government. I believe in TxDOT. I think that they're an amazing agency and they have a lot of responsibility on their shoulders. However, this is a proposal that was recommended to our state agency as a recommendation, and feel as though the way it has been addressed to the people, it's not in the best interest for the people. When you talk about using eminent domain for the possibility of having a toll road in the near future, we are in the poorest area in the state. We're one of the poorest counties in the United States. And to say that we need to have a toll road so that people can travel and relieve congestion, that's creating another burden in a community where we're already fighting poverty. We're already fighting issues within education. We're already fighting employment where wages are at its minimum and people are living below the median income. So knowing all of those statistics and knowing all of those facts, I think that there are better alternatives than the preferred route that TxDOT would like to see happen for this highway. And for that reason, I am against it. It is going to hurt not just small business owners, but residents who have worked very hard for their home to have it taken away. And many of them, with the little money that they will get with the fair market value of that agreement, they're going to be in debt all over again. And some of them will be homeless. And I believe that a representative has to stand up for their people. If a lot of them who are going to be impacted are saying no to this, a representative has to be strong enough to voice their concerns.
Yes. I'll let you give your message to our audience why they should cast their ballot for you in November.
I am Mari De Leon. I am running for state representative for House District 40. I am seeking to replace Terry Canales. I can only do that with your support. I feel as though in the last 20 years or so and more, you now have an ability to have a choice to pick someone who is going to be your strong advocate in Austin. I feel as though my life has prepared me for this day, and I can assure you that with your confidence, I can maintain the integrity of our community in Austin as your state representative, and I ask for your support.
That's Mari De Leon running for state rep in District 40.